How to raise motorcycle suspension. Are you looking to raise your motorcycle suspension for better handling or ground clearance? You've come to the right place. Let's break down how to achieve this effectively. Raising motorcycle suspension usually means increasing the ride height. This can enhance ground clearance, handling, and comfort, especially for taller riders or those who ride off-road. There are a few methods to consider, primarily focusing on the rear suspension, but sometimes the front forks need attention too. First up, you can use raising links. These are aftermarket components that replace the stock rear suspension linkage. By changing the geometry of the swing arm and shock absorber, they effectively lift the rear end of the motorcycle. Installing raising links raises the chassis, which increases ground clearance and seat height. This modification can also improve handling by altering the bike's responsiveness. Most kits come pre-assembled with bearings, seals, and grease fittings, making installation straightforward. Next, let's talk about adjusting the rear shock preload. This adjustment involves compressing or decompressing the rear spring to change the suspension's firmness and ride height. By increasing the preload, you compress the spring more, effectively raising the ride height by reducing sag. This adjustment is typically done at the shock absorber using an adjustable collar or screw that changes the spring tension. Properly setting the preload balances comfort and handling, ensuring the bike sits higher without becoming too stiff. Now, while raising links mainly affect the rear, you can also adjust the front forks. This can be done by changing fork preload or replacing fork springs with stiffer or longer ones. Some motorcycles have adjustable front forks, allowing you to increase preload to raise the front end slightly. This helps maintain balanced geometry after raising the rear suspension. Another important aspect is measuring sag. Sag is the amount the suspension compresses under the rider's weight and gear. Proper sag adjustment is essential when raising suspension to ensure the bike maintains correct geometry and handling. To measure sag, compress the suspension with the rider on the bike and adjust preload or linkage settings until you achieve the recommended sag value. This ensures stability, traction, and comfort while riding. After raising the suspension, it's also important to check and adjust damping settings. This includes low-speed and high-speed compression and rebound adjustments to maintain smooth and controlled suspension movement. Raising the suspension changes the bike's center of gravity and handling dynamics, so fine-tuning other suspension parameters may be necessary. Lastly, always torque all linkage and shock bolts to manufacturer specifications after installation. This ensures safety and proper function. Regular maintenance, like greasing linkage bearings and checking for wear, supports suspension performance after modifications. In summary, raising motorcycle suspension can be done by installing raising links or adjusting the rear shock preload. These changes improve ride height and ground clearance, enhancing handling, especially for taller riders or off-road conditions. Proper sag measurement and tuning of damping settings are essential for balanced suspension performance.